What's going on, YouTube? How is everybody today? Great to hear. Today I want to talk about the new Red Sparowes album called The Fear is Excruciating, but Therein Lies the Answers, released in 2010 on Sargent House Records. It's their third album, and all their previous albums were released on Neurosis's record label, New Rot Records, Tribes of New Rot. Pretty decent record label there. Red Sparowes is a instru-metal post-rock band from LA. They're a 5-piece on this album. I read they went through some lineup changes, rotating lineup thing going on here. Some people online said they're a supergroup, and they might be, because they do have they do have members of all these kind of metal bands on here, namely ISIS. They also have members of all these other bands I haven't heard called Pleasure Forever, Angel Hair, Halifax Pier, and the synthcore band. I read this is a synthcore band called VSS, so I'm gonna check them out. I've never heard of synthcore before, but yeah. The fear is excruciating, but therein lies the answer. What can I say about it? It's very typical post-rock music, instrumental music. Very kind of formulaic, in my opinion. I was checking up on the album online, and they have a ton of good reviews, actually. All these bloggers and music websites had a lot of good things to say about it. But I don't know. I've listened to tons and tons of this post-rock, instrumental kind of music. I've listened to a lot of Pelican, a lot of Mogwai, a lot of Godspeed, a lot of Russian Circles, a lot of Zombie, even Mono I've listened to a lot of. I don't know, I don't hear anything that could set these guys apart or ahead of the pack here at all. They play it very safe, very formulaic. They play the whole post-rock, loud, soft, loud, quiet dynamic to death. They do the whole slow building with the guitars, and another guitar comes in and mingles with the bass and drums, and it all goes into this climax. And it's all been there, done that. Very much so by the numbers. Nothing too exciting, nothing to write home about on here. They have some of the longer 7-minute songs, some of the shorter 3 to 4 minute songs, but they're all very much so, you've heard one song, you've heard the whole album kind of thing, in my opinion. There is some subtle drama, and it tries to be very kind of, you know, dramatic and evocative at times, and has a little bit of a melancholy kind of feel, but I don't know, they do it very safe. It doesn't have a lot of balls. They never really cut loose or do anything different. One of the things that they do that is slightly different is that they use a pedal steel guitar. I don't know any other instrumental post-rock band that does that, but yeah, nothing really to write home about. Track 5 on here, called A Swarm, kind of has a Pink Floyd kind of feel, and another track, probably my track pick from this album, is called A Mutiny, has this kind of cool warbling guitar noise on it, which I thought was quasi interesting. But other than that, like I said, just pretty mediocre stuff. The production sounds really good. They got an engineer called Toshi Kasai, who's done work with Tool, Big Business, and the Melvins, and this production's pretty good. Everything sounds very clean, very rich, very clear, but so the musicianship on here is bad either. Like, the musicianship on here is, you know, it's tight. They play very well. The drummer has this kind of jazz drumming thing going on. I kind of enjoy it, but like I said, it's too typical, a little too mediocre for my taste. They are not really doing anything to change the genre or anything like that. Album art's just that. It's a city reflected in some water. And on the back, you got the Red Sparowes logo. More of that. You get this huge poster on the inside. If you open a Red Sparowes poster. Of course, like, pretentious mission statement there. There's a lot to read. It's all about making this music about living in uncertain and reactionary times and stuff like that. Nothing overtly interesting going on here. But yeah, it does have a lot of good reviews online, and maybe if you don't listen to a lot of instrumental post-rock stuff, this stuff could blow your mind. It does have a very prevalent ISIS sound, but nothing as hard-hitting as an ISIS album or an ISIS track on here at all, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's just heard one song, heard them all. They play it very, very safe. It's quite inoffensive. They never really cut loose. Yeah, nothing really to write home about here. It's kind of disappointed, son. The fear is excruciating, but therein lies the answers by Red Sparowes, released on Sargent House Records in 2010. Gets a solid meh.